Shirkers is an indie documentary produced and directed by Singaporean filmmaker Sandi Tan in 2018. Her film will go on to be recognized by Sundance Film Festival and Los Angeles Film Critics Association for the Best Documentary Award. The film discusses young Sandi's adoration for film and her desire to change the movie scene within Singapore, inspired by the French New Wave. Thus, in the summer of 1992, her and her two best friends, as well as school teacher and mentor Georges Cardona, set out to produce a film which Singapore had never seen the likes of before. 19-year-old Sandi Tan had brilliant ideas and an even stronger determination. She withdrew the last of her savings to bring this film to life and worked endless days and nights to bring her ideas to fruition. This was until her mentor Georges absconded with all 70 movie reels and was never to be seen or heard from again for the next 20 years of her life. In 2011, George's ex-wife and now widow had notified Sandi of Georges Cardona's decease, and her raw edits of her film had once again reunited. The film was untouched and meticulously stored away, making a lot of it usable. Throughout the discourse of Shirkers, Sandi explains the turmoil which Georges had put her and her friends through by creating deceitful stories, and through emotional manipulation, Georges managed to convince the girls that he was trustworthy and a strong ally to have on the production of the film. The film serves as a voice for her and her peers, as this is the first time she was able to openly talk about it with the public. Shirkers, the documentary, is a catharsis for all her resentment towards Georges and an end to her decades-old grudge for her stolen youth. We as an audience follow Sandi's perspective as she interviews the peers who contributed to the making of the film, unfolding the events that took place. The documentary's timeline is messy and non-chronological, consisting of clips from the past and returning to the present. Blasco states, in the normal course of events, people keep their feelings inside, storing them in an untidy fashion, but don't think about them. Catharsis helps empty one's emotional drawers and reorganize them in ways that provides a pleasant sense of order and relief. This process was important for Sandi as she finally learns the truth about the stolen movie reels. She begins to accept the past for what it was, and more importantly, she's able to reflect on her own actions and how they affected the people around her. Reflection was one of the more pronounced themes that ran throughout the documentary and illustrated the importance of hindsight. Ruiz states, technical knowledge and skills can be acquired through training with little reflection, but refining attitudes, acquiring virtues, and incorporating value require reflection. Towards the end of her documentary, her peers emphasizes Sandi's own lack of appreciation and selfishness towards her peers, with one of them even highlighting,
Like when? You all the time. Like what? This is because this is like for your amusement. How many times can I keep telling you that it was extremely annoying and it was extremely disappointing and it was extremely draining and that it was the relationships that drained and not the production itself that exhausted us.
to which she responded with thank you. Sandi creates an emotional safe space which her and her peers are able to openly talk about the events which occurred in the past and support their statements with vivid footage from the past. Ferres states, the educator needs to recognize that the learners are immersed in a popular culture framed in emotions and images. She is able to connect to her audience by setting the tone of nostalgia in place and keeps their attention, through her use of bright colors and intriguing storytelling, which is heavily littered with moral dilemmas as she had to face, as well as their consequences. Ultimately, Sandi Tan uses her life story as a powerful resource in teaching ethics and human values, whether as a reminder for herself or to educate her audience.